So today's the day, trade deadline day. We are under 7 hours away. 6 p.m. is the cutoff. And we're a little after 11 a.m. right now. A lot of moves have already happened over the last couple of days. And a lot of moves are probably still going to happen today. It's generally the most stressful day because a lot of stuff scrambles in pretty quickly. This is generally the most stressful day in Yankee land, too, because they tend to wait until the very end to make moves. So I remember last year going live on trade deadline day. They had gotten Andrew Benintendi last year, but the rest of the moves they made trade deadline day. And it was crazy. And it was like right down to the minute. So I expect the same thing happen today. And I'll be live later, 4 p.m. So if you want to participate, you want to hop in, you listen in or watch, I'll be giving you everything live as it comes in. All teams, like we always do. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, but you want to take part in it and you want to get updated, be sure to subscribe and hit the notifications. I thank you for that. And it's going to be pretty big. It's going to be a pretty big day. It's going to be pretty lit earlier as well. And I also want to thank the guys from Morning Brew Sports for having me on last night as part of their live panel with a lot of content creators, a lot of baseball people to talk trade deadline. It was refreshing to hear all the different perspectives and whatnot, and insights and whatnot. And there's a lot of common opinions on certain things, uniform opinions, and I think a lot of it has to do. Buster Olney did an interview yesterday, I think, with Michael Kay, and I actually reposted on Twitter. For those of you who don't follow me on Bronx Bomber 447, take a look at it, listen to the interview. You'll hear it. He made some important points, which is why I think perspective matters here. And I've been pushing for perspective since I started this channel. So I know it's easy to trash folks and trash Boone, trash Cashman, the usual. It's every day. Tantrums here, rants, or whatever people call it, here. And it's every day. It can make us boring, and I don't think it has any impact, but that's why I think it's a perspective is important, because if you're just going to trash and ignore all the other stuff, that's not being real. That's not keeping it real, in my opinion. So I'm not wasting my time with that. But in an interview, I'll bring this up really quickly. Buster Olney made a couple of really important points. And he said, a lot of folks have been conditioned based on what happened with George Steinbrenner for decades, and his impact's going to be felt for a long time, but he's no longer here. May he rest in peace. Guy's a legend, but he's no longer here. Hal's running the team now. He owns the team. And he does it differently. George was known for overreacting, firing people, being very, very, very loud about certain things. And it looked like he liked operating out of fear a lot as well. But the fact is, this is not Bronx Tale, okay? Not Sonny. This isn't Fat Joe and LL Cool J and I Shot You, where he says, I'd rather be feared than loved because the fear lasts longer, which they got from Bronx Tale, okay? This is not that. This is baseball. Hal doesn't listen to the chatter, doesn't listen to the news, which is why people get pissed off when he said in May, he doesn't understand why fans are going so crazy, why they're so pissed off. And fans go in, they jump in. I get it. I understand. So, but he runs things differently. He's more calculated. He shows a lot more loyalty to the people around him, which George did not necessarily do as much as people want people fired immediately and often, and it's just not the way they do things. So, which is the reason why Boone's on a multi-year deal and Cashman's on a multi-year deal. So, much to the frustration of a lot of fans as well. I get that too. But I think, and this is one reason why I think it's important to give you folks the full story, whether it's good, whether it's important to know both. So if I'm only telling you what I want you to hear, to me, I've said this before, it's just depriving you of important information. I don't need you to agree with me. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. It elevates the conversation when there's other opinions and other perspectives. So that's why I don't participate in the chatter, in the rants, even though I took place last night and, I threw a couple F-bombs, and that's very uncharacteristic of me, but people, it seemed to be welcome. But one of the things I said last night is if I didn't do the fire this, fire that, I said, if Hal's, they're taking $25 million in extra money and the players are going to wear this patch to promote insurance, Star Insurance, which they're not going to make the money Hal and the rest of them are, and Hal should be wearing this patch every day. Show them your true colors. You're about the money too. Just own it, dude. Own it. Right? But we know that's not going to happen. So, but it is what it is. So, but I'm really curious to see what the moves the Yankees are going to make today. And this is the other thing too. It was interesting, and Uncle Tats from Stripe Chronicles brought this out too, because there's some folks that when Randall Grichuk's name, even though the Yankees never actually had a discussion with the Rockies about Randall Grichuk, they haven't. So, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, people were upset about potentially, Randall. He's not going to go with Randall Grichuk, bull crap, and we don't need this, blah blah blah. And then the certain same folks, to a degree, were pissed off when he went to the Angels, when the Yankees didn't get a guy that they didn't want to begin with. So where's the logic in that? This is why I ask these questions. Why are you pissed off at the Yankees for not getting the guy you didn't want anyway? Tats asked the same question. It was a very good question. So thank you, Tats, for doing that. So, and this is the type of stuff. Perspective, logic. Why are we ignoring certain things and just asking? Are we just asking things because that's what other people want to hear? Or certain people want to hear? Like, are we afraid of being chewed out by certain, people? Like, no. I'm entitled to feel what we feel. So, but that was a good, and here's another thing too, perspective-wise. How many people, Clark Schmidt has gotten a lot better this year. He's a different pitcher, especially now, the last couple months. Does anybody know that Gerrit Cole took him under his wing? And he's been mentoring him for like the past 2 months? He has. I think it's one reason why he's a different pitcher now. He's more of a bulldog. He's staying later in the games. He's pitching better later in the games. And he's fighting more aggressively. And to me, that's got, it's got Gerrit Cole written all over it. So I thank Gerrit Cole for taking him under his wing and mentoring him. This is why I said he should be co-captain of this team, because this is what he does. He's everywhere, impacting his teammates. Not only on the mound with his own pitching, but he's helping other kids, helping the young kids. He's standing up for his other team. He's doing a lot of things that he doesn't need to do, that he does. That to me is captain material. Judge is a great player, and this is no knock on Judge, but I would love to see that type of stuff from him as well, his teammates. Take some guys under their wing and do some other things. So I appreciate the fact that they've been looking out for Anthony Volpe and all this, but captain to me is a prestigious honor. So I hope that he honors it the way Cole honors the title he doesn't even have, and I think should. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think of that. So, but today's the day. So buckle up and get ready for the ride. I'm going to go live around 4 p.m., maybe a little bit earlier, and we'll stay for a couple hours. Deadline's at 6, and then we'll stay for a little bit after as well. That's when things start to filter in, and we'll be like, what the hell? Oh, my God, because I'm going to give you all the breaking news. And sometimes you get like 5 breaking news things in like 10 minutes. And it's going to be like, what the? That's the way it happens on trade deadline day. It gets nuts. So I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm really, really excited. I'm really hopeful that we can report some Yankee news for you. Good Yankee news. Because they do have moves that they need to make. Everybody knows this. The type of moves, we have no idea. But I'll just finish with this. Scott Braun made a great point last night, excuse me. And he said that the one reason why the Yankees don't want to exceed the Cohen threshold is because the further you go up, the more revenue sharing you have to give out. And the Yankees give more revenue sharing than any other team in baseball every year. Okay? It's essentially handing out a chunk of your profits to teams that are not required to spend it on players to make their team better. That, to me, I wouldn't want to give it to him either. Why are you going to give it to the A's when he's going to pocket the money? A billionaire owners who can't even fill the stands, but you need a luxury jet, you need more luxury suites? For what? You can't get fans in the stadium. So I agree with him 100%. I wouldn't want to do that either. So that's what I'm hoping in one of these years in the CBA, there should be some kind of agreed upon rule where if teams, and I know owners are probably not going to like this, but if teams don't spend the money that's given to them in revenue sharing on players, they have to give it back immediately. Why would that be unfair? Yankees should not have to give out tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars a year, every couple of years in revenue sharing for people to just pocket it, run with it. Okay, and this is one reason why the Yankees don't spend it. I wouldn't want to do that either. So that's got Hal on it. That's his not wanting to participate in that. And again, I don't know how many people would. Would you like to give your profits to somebody who's just going to run with it and not do anything productive? I know I wouldn't. So that's where I can relate to. That's good perspective too. So I appreciate Scott Braun for bringing that one up. Thank you, Scott. But these are the types of things that I think are important to keep in mind on trade deadline day. As much as, it's an easy reflex to say fire him and fire him. It's easy to tell someone else to do it. But again, would you do it yourself? I don't know. That's the question. And people are going to say, yeah, I would. Okay. So like people say, they call them names and they trash people. Do it to these guys' faces, not behind the screen where you're safe. Do it to them in person to their face. So, but I'll leave you with that. So today's going to be crazy. Get ready for the ride, gang. Talk to y'all later.